Welcome back to Speak Up Queen, the podcast where we empower, uplift, and celebrate women who have reclaimed their voices to inspire others. Hi, I am Marika, and I'm so excited to have you here with me today for this special episode. Why? Because today I'm joined by inspiring and thought provoking Claire. Claire is a provocative enigma dedicated to her own expansion and evolution so she can help others awaken to the truth of who they truly are. As a multi-passionate and limitless being, Claire mentors, coaches, speaks, writes, and sings, bringing her unique blend of talents to guide others on their journey to higher consciousness. In today's episode, Claire will share her passion for awakening people to their true selves, offering insights into what it means to embrace higher consciousness, the journey of personal evolution and expansion, how reconnecting with your authentic self can transform your life, practical steps to start awakening to your truth today. Claire's story and insights are sure to inspire and challenge you to think beyond limitations and embrace the fullness of who you truly are. I can't wait for you to hear her wisdom and unique perspective. So, without further ado, let's welcome Claire to Speak Up Queen.
Thank you so much. I was enjoying that introduction enormously. Thank you, Marika. I'm happy to be here today.
It's a pleasure. Well, you can go ahead. What do you want to share with these Speak Up Queens?
I love this. So, one of the things that really lights me up and I get an energetic feedback loop from is speaking. And just as you were saying that introduction there, I was like, I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to be sharing today. And that is what really excites me the most always is like, give me a microphone and I will just speak whatever words I feel are moving through me and whatever message I feel needs to come through. And so this opportunity is just like so bang on for me, it's untrue. And I think, and I think I really want to speak to that and say that everyone has this power. And it comes from being truly connected to yourself and trusting your intuition. Because, we go to school, we're told, okay, have a plan, sit exams, recite knowledge, blah, blah, blah. Learn. And actually what we're not taught is to feel, stop thinking, and trust ourselves. And that is where our power lies. And I wrote a post just now on Facebook, actually, talking about how the biggest block to accessing and creating the life that you desire is thinking you need to learn more, thinking you need to be taught something else, and thinking you have the answer already. Like thinking like using knowledge. And actually, when we strip that back, what really is true, like the game of life and how to play it, is all about being yourself. Being yourself. So it's removing all of the knowing, everything you already know. Like that is the quickest path to embodying the wisdom within you, is to remove everything you have already know. Just remove it. Thinking is actually the most dangerous thing we can do in our lives, is to think. Because thinking creates problems, feeling creates solutions. And we have never been taught to feel. We've all been taught how to sit still, look pretty, don't make noise, right? Don't express yourself fully, and answer all these facts that you're never going to need to know anything in your future world ever to do with it. That kind of really clunky, but that's I want to be an example of there is no I'm all about embodying imperfection and showing up as all of you, right? And I think most people, and I see this a lot in the entrepreneurial world, is like trying to get it right, and even coming through in copy, when people write copy, it's like it can be tweaked, right, and manipulated, and we don't then always show our true authentic voice. And that's what I really love about speaking, is like you can't erase something. It's like you speak it, right? And that is, for me, it's like, there's no coincidence that I'm drawn to just speak. One of my favorite things to do, when my intuition tells me, that's the only time I ever act, and that's the only time any of us are supposed to act, is TikTok live. So I literally just, like put up a word, or I might put up a title. It's like, it kind of is irrelevant, because I'll just talk whatever I feel I need to talk in that moment. And so what happens is everyone gets all of me, right? And what I've noticed recently is I've been attracting, like, a lot of the next generation are coming onto my live. And it's like, it's just so cool, because they're like, oh my God, you've just transformed my life in like 10 minutes. And I haven't done that. They've allowed themselves to embody those words. And so I very much lead my life from a place of, how can I elevate and expand my consciousness? And so my clients come to me because they want to tap into more of themselves. They want to tap into their intuition. And the fastest way to do that is to slow down. Slow down and create space. And it's normally the most uncomfortable thing that my clients take away as homework. And yeah, like I speak from a place of authenticity here, because I will share a little bit about my story. I was married for 21 years, and in July 21 was the start of one of my awakenings. And here's what happens when you awaken and when you connect with your true self. It comes with an energy of courage. And so it makes no sense. When you are leading your life by your intuition, it generally does not make sense. Every day I'm like, what? I don't know why I'm going in here. And then I'll go in there and go in a shop, and I'll connect with someone. And it's like, oh, okay, right. I'm meant to be here, right? And we always are. We are, whatever happens in life, it is always serving us. And so July 21, the words fell out of my mouth, I'm leaving you. And prior to that, I'd recognized I wasn't fully 100% happy. I was happy enough, right? And I'd created the fairy tale, which is what I thought I wanted, right? Mm-hmm. But that fairy tale desire did not come from my true self. It came from what I'd been modeled. And so what I thought I wanted. And here's the thing, we create from, and I say this loosely in inverted commas, like a false self, because actually all of it is us, right? But when we are not authentically being and embodying all of ourselves, then we follow desires that are not actually ours. And there's no wrong, right? It's all awareness. It's all awareness. And I was meant to have that experience to understand what it feels like to have created something that actually wasn't really what I truly wanted. And I think also a big part of that, which I feel called to share, is, given we're on Speak Up Queen, is how I shrunk myself in that relationship. I chose to do that. I chose to mold myself into who I thought I needed to be. And so I didn't fully own my voice. And what I uncovered, so when you go through a spiritual awakening, you awaken yourself sexually. Now, no coincidence, literally as a result of owning my sexuality, I owned my voice. Because here's the thing, the vulva and the vocal cords are a direct mirror image. They were actually, they came from the same seed in the embryo. And it's only when the embryo actually grew that they separated into two organs. So they are intrinsically linked. So when a woman owns her sexuality, she owns her voice. Not only does that have an impact in asking for what she wants in the bedroom, but also in her business, right? So that was a huge part of my awakening and my journey, is to really embody my sexuality, which is a big part of who we are, so that I could fully own my voice and then be able to step into spaces like this without fear and just trust that it doesn't actually matter what I say, right? I'm just sharing whatever I feel a desire to share. And I think so often we can get caught up in that narrative, and essentially the only judge is ourselves.
Yes. That is so true. I'm like, when you said that you're just gonna lead this, you're just gonna lead it with whatever comes to you. I'm like, that is so me. I can't. The introduction, yes, I read it off a thing. But if someone asks me to speak on a podcast, I'm like, Lord, lead the way. There is, just show me, tell me what I must say, because I am not gonna prepare myself. It's too stressful for my body to stress about whether, if it's gonna be perfect, if it's gonna be, do I need to say certain things to fit in? Nah, I will tell you the story, even if it takes me back to Cape Town and back to Australia, but I will come to the point at some time. But I always say the message that a person needs to hear, they will hear it. I mean, if you are sad or you are happy, you will hear that your favorite song from a mile away. You will hear that. So it's the same with us telling our stories. It's someone will hear what is meant for them. They will attract it. They will attract that message when they needed it.
Yeah, it's so true. And it takes a real unshakable trust in yourself. And that is felt. I remember I delivered a talk in a it was like a webinar set up online for this huge group of women in a certain phase of life, right? Which they labeled as menopause and perimenopause. Now, I don't resonate with labels, because here's what happens. When we put a label on ourselves, we will then embody the symptoms.
Yes.
So I don't buy into labels. I am labelless. I don't have a title for my business or for what I do, because that would limit me. Mm. And as soon as I dropped my title, which I realized I was just actually purely putting on for other people, not for myself, I was like, well, I don't do that. I'm not going to do that. And I'm all about being a full expression, right? So it's like, yeah, of course I need to be titleless. And just literally by letting go of that title, it was like I expanded myself. Just from that one action, so powerful. But anyway, coming back to this talk, so I'd booked this talk, and it was a webinar to be in front of all of these women who were in, like, I'd say 40 to 50s, right? That kind of age bracket, that phase of life, right? the chapter of life, the most awakening time of a woman's life, I believe. And anyway, you paid to do the talk, right? So I'd invested the money. I was like, yeah, that feels good. So she was like, you have 20 minutes to go live. And I was like, okay. I was like, right, what would I like to say? And I thought, well, I don't know. So I'm just going to give a title, which is It's All Made Up. And I spoke from my heart about how the whole menopause, perimenopause is all made up. And literally, my live blew up, because there was one particular woman who's coming into the forefront right now, who literally like DM'd me, like she was all over my literally must have, I don't know how many comments, like I don't know, 50 comments to my live, all over it. This was not when I was live, this was recorded. I think there was like one person when I was live. Like, that doesn't matter to me. I'm unattached to the outcome, so it doesn't matter who's there. It's just like I knew I needed to just voice this. And anyway, she then blew up my DMs, because she was just like, oh, you have just done what I want to do, like that's next level. And I was like, well, what was that then? She went, well, you just spoke from the heart with a title. And I went, oh yeah. Like, I didn't say that I was doing that, but she felt it. And this is it, like, you know, what you were just saying earlier, like just being guided by your intuition, like, you know, let the Lord speak through you. And it's an energy. It's an energy, and it's felt. And words are so powerful, because whatever we are saying to ourselves is what we create. That is how we create our reality. It starts with what we're feeling, which we get to choose, by the way. We get to choose, and that infiltrates our thoughts. So that is what we put out into the world. And so whatever we are creating in our reality, and let's just say it's something that you do not prefer, have a look. Why are you creating that? Because your reality is a reflection of your inner state. And when we get to really tune into that and go, okay, why is it I'm creating this? We get to change it and actually get to embody a new feeling state to trigger the thoughts of what we really want to create and what is actually our truth. And I'll share an example here. I became an expert in creating scarcity. Literally would create scarcity in my life. If there were gold medals being given out, like I got loads. Kept recreating the situation of zero, literally zero. I remember there was a time where my son, who is at uni, he messaged me and he was like, Mum, I really need some money. And I said, okay. I said, well, I have £12 in my bank account. I can send you a £5, right? And he went, okay, Mum, don't worry. I actually have more than you. I have 16. So don't worry about it. Like, you keep your £12. Like, but not for a moment did I feel guilt. Right. This is when I kind of shifted. It was just like, money does not have power over me. This is my creation. This is my reality. I created this. And then it was like realizing, oh, I can choose to feel abundant with £12 in my bank account. Game changer, right? And this is how I changed the game. And but yeah, going back to the recreating scarcity over and over again, and like bills bouncing constantly, right? I became like an absolute goddess at having uncomfortable conversations around money. because I had to keep calling all these companies and going, oh, can't pay this month. Oh, can't pay this. Oh, can't do this. And what I started to see is I created the whole experience, and it was the universe just kept representing this situation for me to choose to respond differently. And once I saw that, I took radical self-responsibility, because that is it, and that is so empowering in itself. I had to cut off my back door way out of how I was allowing people to save me. Because here's the thing, when every time I created zero, I got an emotional rush from it. It was like a kink for me. It was like this dopamine kink. And victims love allies. So I would invite everyone into my party. Come on, come and join me. I'm having a drink here. I've created zero again. How fucking brilliant am I, right? That wasn't what I was saying. But essentially, that's what the vibration I was putting out. It's like, look at me. I'm putting all my energy behind this. And we create from a place of energy.
Yes.
So once I got to see, I created an experience where I had a car crash. And that's when I finally got to see how I was just creating all of these situations. And it was like this car crash was like this pivotal moment, because it was like I was observing my behavior, but from an elevated state. And literally, as soon as I saw that and took radical self-responsibility, it was like this enormous overnight shift. Like I stepped into this whole new identity, literally overnight. I woke up the next morning and I was just like, whoa, like, and I've never felt the same since. And it was like, yeah, I needed to have that really, really uncomfortable, almost a year of recreating that experience to really feel what that felt like, so that I could then have the experience of the opposite. And often in the game of, I don't like to use the word manifestation because I feel it's very limiting, but for the purposes of people trying to understand this, but in the game of creating what you want, or manifesting, if you use that word, we often manifest the opposite. That is part of the creation. And it's to give ourselves the experience of the opposite so that we can choose what we would prefer to feel. And it starts there.
It is so, especially if you give energy to, like you said about the bills. If you keep talking about, if you your voice has power, and as long as you are gonna complain about something and you put energy in it, and you like get to pity party and everybody's complaining about the same thing, you're attracting it more and more and more. And I'm like, stop. Let's talk about something else. Let's rather find solutions how we can get out of it. Because it is like, it is just amazing like that I am a law of attraction. I am like crazy about, and this is something that I am recently learned about, the law of attraction, Think and Grow Rich. And it was just like, we can create our own future. We can create our own future. We can decide today, you know what, I'm not going to be the victim anymore. I'm going to be a warrior queen. I'm not going to be a victim anymore. But I loved it when you said you took responsibility, because we need to take responsibility for we need to stop blaming other people in our lives and the things that have happened. I think as soon as you realize that you have to take that responsibility for your own actions, then I feel like then you are like, oh, what do you say it in English? My Afrikaans brain's trying to take over now. How can I say it? No, I don't forget. Now I forgot.
I describe it as empowerment.
Yes. So you are like, You're taking this, you're taking that and you don't keep anyone else accountable. For if something,
Yeah.
you don't have to blame. Oh, but that is because of him. It's not anymore one's fault anymore. Something happens, it's your own fault, and you need to take that responsibility. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really powerful because you know what? Just owning all of the, there is no fuck up, by the way, but I'm just going to use this language right now. But if you own all the fuck ups, then actually you're empowering yourself in that moment. Like just owning them, it's like that will expand your energy. And yeah, you hit the nail on the head. It's like making a choice to not be a victim. And I uncovered that actually one of the reasons why I kept, you know, falling into this victim consciousness for so long was I was operating under the lens of healing, which is always looking for a problem, right? If you think you need to be healed, you're always looking for something to be fixed. You're always looking for what is wrong rather than going, okay, how would I like to feel? And really leaning into, I am abundant, I am wealthy, you know, those vibrations, right? We start to change and start looking at what is going right. And then instantly we start attracting those opportunities, right? And the money flows. And honestly, that was like, yeah, huge for me, is to just switch from operating from healing into expansion and be able to embody the higher truth of the higher consciousness. And yeah, it's just like changed everything. And you know, I think in the spiritual world so often, you know, it is kind of, it is often positioned that transformation takes a long time, and it's not true. Like, I am the evidence of that. It is so not true. Like, literally 24 hours, it was like I switched into a new state of being. And that is how fast we can expand.
Definitely. Oh. If you could say something to this amazing woman who is on this journey, who are, they don't know how to use their voice. What can they just start doing today? Just one simple step that I can start doing today to put them in a higher energy and attracting the things that I really deserve.
Yeah, great question. So around the voice, so I would say it's really tuning into themselves. And one way to notice if you are not speaking your truth is if you are someone who often has like lump in your throat, scratchy throat, yeah, maybe like you often get throat infections or things around your throat. That's often a sign that you are not fully expressing yourself in some way. So I would just draw attention to what your body is communicating.
You
Your face.
you really hit the
um
nail. You hit the nail now on its head, because I was, when we moved to Australia, I was for a year. People silenced me, and I was for a year. I didn't speak, and then we moved to another town, and I had to learn how to speak again. My throat, after half an hour, my throat was sore because I didn't know how to speak anymore. I had to learn myself or teach myself again how to speak and use my voice. So it is like, whoo, this is powerful, that what you're saying.
wow.
It is just expressing ourselves. We need now. That is like, whoo.
Absolutely. And you know, oh, and I didn't know that story about you, Marika, sorry. Um, so yeah, thank you for sharing that with me. But yeah, absolutely. And here's the thing: women, that like energy moves up the body. So if a woman has got any kind of issues around her throat, or is always getting sore throats or tonsillitis or anything like that, then I would ask a very bold question, which is, what is your connection like to your womb, your pussy? Because it'll all start there. So energy moves up the body, and yeah, it often there is a blockage, and that is a question that I would ask anyone listening to really sit with. To really sit with. And I speak from a place of not having any connection myself, and I spent most of my marriage wearing scarves around my neck. No coincidence, right? Because I was covering up my voice. So if you're someone who is always wearing scarves, now it's very cold in the UK right now, so I'm often wearing a scarf, but not because I want to cover up my voice, because I like to be hot. But yeah, so it's being curious about that. And yeah, when I was wearing scarves before, it wasn't because I was cold, it was because I was just covering my voice. And I would wear them all year round, like a little silk scarf. And I was hiding my voice. I wasn't connected. I had no connection with the life force energy between my legs. And that's where it starts. And so I would say to any women, first and foremost, tune into your body. What is it communicating with you? And you can simply just ask a question, like, if you're experiencing any discomfort or pain in your body, ask, what is that saying to you? What's the message here? And slow down. Slow down. I think it's, I used to wear the busy badge of honor, thinking it was a mark of success, and it was the biggest block to connecting with myself.
Now slow down. It is, and when we are talking about slowing down, it's not just having a day in front of Netflix and then the next day going back. It is taking a step back and make it, it's like a healthy diet, a lifestyle. It's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. You have to choose for your self-care. We have to make time for ourselves. We have to make time for ourselves, because we are wearing all of these hats: a mom, a wife, a business owner, a friend. We are all, but we need to make time for ourselves and really listen. Like you said, when you're feeling pain in your body, the body keeps the score. Our bodies is the amazing thing. It's really telling us what's going on, but we don't listen. It's easier for us to go to Google and find out, why do I have a headache, than really starting to say, oh, what have you done all day? Was you stressed? Did you put some extra stress on yourself? We don't want to go there. It's easier to just go to Google and ask, why do we have a headache?
Yeah, because it's uncomfortable, right? To look inside. Yeah. And maybe we've suppressed it for so long. It's like, ooh, gosh, what will happen if I open that box? And I just encourage you to just be really compassionate with yourself and open the box. And there is nothing that we cannot handle. And that is how powerful we are. And I think, my journey of being single over the last 3.5 years, like the situations and experiences I've had, I'm like, wow, it's really, the times of struggle are the times when you actually really uncover who you are.
That is so true. I've been tested this week. A few speakers didn't cancel, so I was on the Zoom, and I was waiting for them, and 20 minutes went past, and I was like, oh, maybe I must just put it off and just go. I have to feel defeated. But when you are in this journey about you've got a mission, I was like, nope, it's time for me to record this. And I was just talking, sharing my story. And I was like, we need to push through, because it's in these days that we can't be asked for strength or for courage if we are not going to get tested, we are asking for courage. We are asking to be empowered. But if we are not getting tested, how are we supposed to get this courage to speak up, get this confidence to show up as your authentic self? Yeah, it's just we ask for these things, and then the universe is going to test us to make sure that we really want what we want. So yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, yeah, so true.
Well, Claire, we're on top of the hour almost. So is there anything else you wanted to discuss with us or share with us? Yeah.
I think, essentially being present with ourselves, being in the present moment, even if that's like, a minute, like being present is our point of power. It's how we create. And if there's one takeaway from this, like just take a minute for yourself each day, just literally being present. Yeah, there's so much gold in that.
There is, because we live in our heads. We are always living in our heads. We don't live in our bodies. And then there is a disconnection between the two. And then it's like, whoa, something happens. But like you said, thinking is our worst enemy sometimes. Because, but yeah, thank you so much for your time. I am super excited to publish this episode today. It was like, I get so much gold nuggets. That is, speak of Queen. I don't know if all the women who's gonna listen to this episode is getting excited, but I'm like, I actually want to sit like this. And I know someone said it's not you can't sit like this. You're the house. I'm like, but I would just want to lean in and learn more and hear all of these powerful women out there who raise their hand to speak up, to share their story and to empower other women, because I'm all for women empowerment. I am like, it is just like, it is filling me, because I was once silenced and I will never ever in my life be silenced again, or go back to a place where I was feeling voiceless. Now I'm showing up authentically. This platform is for women to know that you can be yourself here. You don't have to be perfect. You can just show up as yourself. This is your safe space to talk. We are going to listen. We are going to be empowered. And yeah, it's just amazing. Thanks for being on here. I really appreciate it so much.
Oh, thank you. I just adore what you have created for women to be able to show up authentically. So thank you. And I've loved today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Claire, and have a good evening.